In St. Louis, not far from the gateway to the west, that arch soaring high above the banks of the Mississippi, stands a statue of a man largely forgotten by history. Thoms Benton was a US Senator for Missouri in the middle of the 19th century. His relevance to India? Well, let me quote from a speech he gave in the US Senate in 1825. For thousands of years, merchants loaded with gold and silver have traversed the deserts on camels or the trackless sea in ships in quest of the rich productions of the East. From the ancient Phoenicians to the English, the nation which has commanded the trade of Asia in each successive era has been the leader of the world in civilization, power, and wealth. Benton wanted, in his words, to realize the grand idea of Columbus. His statue is inscribed with his most famous line of all. Pointing west from St. Louis to the snow-capped Rockies and beyond them to the coasts of California and Oregon, Benton used to point, saying, "There is the East, there is India." Here is a wonderful picture taken from a Great West Railroad guidebook of Lady Liberty herself with the stars and stripes, pointing over her shoulder to the wealth of India on the horizon, exclaiming Benton's famous phrase. It is somewhat ironic that a little town in Arkansas, named after Benton, would become so important to American commerce. Walmart is famously headquartered in Bentonville. Now, Walmart have been trying to get into India for many years now, but the Indian government still does not allow multi-brand retailers like Walmart or Costco or Target to operate in India. Last year, if you remember, Walmart was overtaken as America's largest retail business by Amazon. Now, Jeff Bezos has been able to achieve what Walmart could not, and has already committed $2 billion to building the Amazon operation in India. Within a couple of years, they are actually giving the homegrown Flipkart a run for their money. Amazon are able to operate in India, unlike Walmart, because they operate a marketplace model here, where Indian suppliers sell through Amazon's platform. The next few years, maybe even months, are going to be extremely interesting for the Indian e-commerce market and challenging for India's hyper-funded startups, to use Kashyap Deora's phrase from his excellent book, The Golden Tap, all about startup scene in India in the last few years. Now, this is going to be one of the key battlefields in global business, with Chinese and American tech companies, directly or indirectly through strategic partnerships with Indian startups, coming face to face with each other. We have Amazon versus Alibaba and the Indian Paytm versus the Indian Flipkart. We have Uber versus the Indian Ola and Chinese Didi Kuadi, and many more. This is only going to increase. India is the major market where American, Chinese, and Indian tech companies will all compete against each other. The stakes are huge. As we'll see later in this course, getting India right and leveraging its domestic market and innovation talent can be the stepping stone to the rest of the developing world and the next 6 billion internet users and consumers. Let me leave you with a thought. Are there parallels between the battle for India's internet today and that for the country 500 years ago? Is history repeating? Do foreign companies have an advantage? Or will Indian companies emerge as the winners and go global? Thanks to their combination of their fast-growing domestic market, diaspora networks, and vast pool of young technical talent. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the influence of India and the parallels between the past and present in our discussion forum which follows.